What's up, Tackle Warehouse fans? Jake here with this week's episode of What's New at TW. We are finally into December. If you need to do some holiday shopping, make sure to head over to the website. Check out all the deals that we got going on for the whole month. If your water's frozen, now's a tough time. Great time to do some organization, get restocked. But if you still have water to fish that's cold, maybe time to downsize, try some finesse stuff, some slower moving gear. First up, we're gonna talk about new rods and reels that we just got into TW. Came out at ICAST. First one, new Lew's Custom Light series of rods. This is a really cool series of rods. There's a ton of different models in the entire lineup. First up, cosmetically, phenomenal looking series of rods from Lew's. They come in around 169, 179 bucks. Some of the features on them, the HM85 graphite blank, super lightweight. Stainless steel frames and the oxide inserts on the inside, so super sensitive, super strong. Down here, most noticeable, the grips on these rods. They look kind of like a carbon fiber woven grip, like it would, have kind of a hard feel to it, but it's extremely soft. It's actually a wind dry tack weave material, so it is soft and super tacky, so you can actually fish this thing in the rain and not have to worry about it slipping out of your hands. They feel really good. I've actually fished one of these in the rain and I had no issues with it. And back on the back of the reel seat, so an exposed reel seat on the back, where they give you a lot of blank exposure, so really increase that sensitivity. There's actually been a few of us in the office testing these out for the last few months, and we're gonna have a Tackle Warehouse review coming out on these really soon. From experience, man, the durability on these rods is phenomenal. I had one stuffed in the bottom of a tent trailer and drove it across a few states, and it held up great. And sensitivity is great. Super lightweight rods. You want to check out the full lineup of the whole new series of Lew's Custom Light series. A new reel that we got from Abby Garcia. Another super cool one. So in their Zeta lineup, they redid the Zeta series. This is the new Zeta LP, stands for low profile. This reel, super lightweight. So it's graphite frame and side plates. Feels great in the hand. It palms really well. And like I said, it's graphite frame and side plates, so it's super lightweight. But you don't get any of that flex or kind of bind like you would with some maybe cheaper graphite reels on the market. It's super rigid and really strong. So phenomenal reel, comes in at 189 bucks. 10 bearings on the inside, so crazy smooth. Also got a dual brake system, so you can really dial it in to kind of, if you want to throw heavier baits, lighter weight baits, anything like that. Ton of drag power, 2 different gear ratios, carbon handle on the side, and EVA foam knobs. So if you're looking for a reel kind of right there in that price point, under 200 bucks, can pretty much do anything. Check out that new Zeta. And the gray low profile kind of matte finish to it. Super cool looking reel to have on the front deck of your boat. All right, couple new ones from Hog Farmer. This one I'm super pumped about. So Hog Farmer makes some of the best umbrella rigs out there on the market. Now they have a new micro series of their BFL rig. It's a 5-wire rig. It's got the snaps on it for running 3 hook baits, because that's the restrictions on the BFL tournaments. And it's also got the corkscrews on the top for running your dummy baits. They've just taken an already great proven rig and just downsized it to that smaller, more compact profile. So if you're fishing more clear water, spotted bass, smallmouth, or if you just have increased fishing pressure, similar to what we experience a lot out here on the West, so going to those smaller, more compact baits seems to be, the way to go and help you get a few more bites. Got 4 premium blades on there, just like all Hog Farmer baits, got that nice head on the top. And then all the hardware, it's all premium components all the way around. Ball bearings, swivels, snaps, everything you want. Just a phenomenal rig, just now in that smaller profile. Another one that we got from Hog Farmer, their Spunk Shad. This is a great bait for throwing on the back of your vibrating jig, but we actually got a custom color for Tackle Warehouse, so you can only get it here, the TW Sunfish Magic. So super cool, bluegill profile. It's got a lot of green pumpkin and kind of that doled out, almost orange chartreuse color in the belly. So not super crazy bright, but it's got a ton of flake in there. Just a color that we really wanted, and we got them in all the different sizes. So if you're looking for that bluegill type of color, coming up in the spring, match it up with any of your bluegill or green pumpkin vibrating jigs, that's gonna be the color you wanna throw on there. From Amakatsu, we got a bunch of new stuff from Amakatsu. Gotta be careful not hook myself. This new Buzzbill Magnum Jr. Pretty unique swim bait. You can do a bunch of stuff with it. It's small, it only weighs about a ½ ounce, so anyone can throw this. You don't need any specialized equipment for it. And you can run kind of multiple sections of the water column with one bait. So it is a single joint with a bill on it, but it's got this unique soft tail on the back. So if you wind it slow, it's just gonna wake on the surface and get that nice kind of realistic kick, but it's gonna, clack and make a nice V-shaped wake on the surface. Other things you can do with it, if you wanna speed up your retrieve, you can actually use this as a crank down and get it to go a couple feet and kind of fish it more like an aggressive square bill. Underneath here on the bottom, it actually has a screw, so you can remove the bill and weight this thing, and you can get it to go down and fish it like a hard body swim bait. I mean, this hook system on the bottom, this thing is sticky sharp. Super dangerous getting out of the package. Got those Teflon coated trebles on the bottom, and then back here on the tail, it's actually got a double hook kind of tucked against that fin on there for those short striking fish to just come up and nip at the tail. They are not getting away from that hook right there. So if you're looking for something, really resembles a shad, the paint jobs and colors that we have on these are phenomenal. So super realistic colors, realistic detailing on these things. Just a small, more compact swim bait, again, for more of that clear water fishery and when you have a lot of pressure and you just need a downsize to trigger a few bites, and something that's gonna trigger bites from all sizes of fish. So for tournament anglers or, trophy anglers, this is gonna generate a ton of bites. The next one we got from Amakatsu, this little popper mouse. So super cool, unique little bait. So, it's all molded out of plastic, so you're gonna rig this on like a small offset EWG style hook, but with that popper mouth on there, it's gonna be kind of a more subtle popper. It's not gonna be, as aggressive as like your hard body traditional popper, but since you have that cavity on the bottom and you're gonna rig it on a single hook, you're gonna be able to get this thing super deep into cover and into places, that you would be getting like your hollow body frog. But since it's made out of a soft plastic, it's a little bit denser, and you'll be able to cast it a little bit better and get it up under stuff where maybe sometimes you can't get a really small hollow body frog, and there's not too many hollow bodies on the market that are even this size and profile. And then up there, it's got that little weed guard, just in case your hook point starts to pop out, you've got that little extra weed guard on the top to keep it perfectly weedless. And I mean, this thing, it looks like a tiny little mouse or something. It's gonna get back in there, and you're gonna be able to fish this thing in some deep cover and just have that super finesse kind of popping action where you traditionally can't get very many baits. Another finesse one, the new skinny eel worm. So I see more and more of these coming out on the market. A lot of them are from the JDM companies. These super skinny body, longer worms are gaining a lot of popularity, and there's a ton of stuff you can do with these as well. So even though it's a 12-inch worm, it's not fishing like your 12-inch, power fishing worm. So it's still a 12-inch worm, but it's super finesse, really skinny body. So these things do really well on Nico rigs, on wacky rigs, drop shots. You can Texas rig them, shaky head. You can do a bunch of different stuff with them, but you kind of get in that bigger profile, but still fishes just like a finesse worm. They've got a bunch of really cool colors and just something that, it is a big profile, but it's gonna trigger bites from all sizes of fish. So something super cool to try out, throw in the arsenal, especially in the wintertime. Everyone's out there dragging, shaking worms, and just something a little bit different to maybe try to trigger a few more bites. From All Terrain Tackle, we got this new Finesse swim jig. Really nice head shape, got a lot of shad detailing on it. It's nice pointed, it's got that recessed line tie, which I like a lot. It helps to just come through the grass and stuff a lot more efficiently. Hand-tied skirts on there, really nice hook. Got a stacked keeper on there, so it's gonna hold your trailers on there super well. They got kind of that perfect angle right there, what you want on that weed guard. That collar on there, you can add a rattle to the bottom of it if you want. So if you just want a little bit of extra noise, you have the option to add the rattle to your jig. And then they've got some super cool colors. I really like what they did with their takes on the different shad colors. So they're not going with just the regular old sexy shad. They kind of did their own take on them, and they came out with some really cool colors in this series of jigs. From Beast Coast, another small, compact jig. So this is the new LOW metal version of their sniper jig. This Beast Coast sniper jig, this is actually a favorite among a few of the guys in the office. This is just a lead version of the tungsten model they already carry. Those times when, the bottom sensitivity, bottom contact sensitivity is not that important. You can go to lead version. Lead version is also a little bit cheaper, but a super small compact jig, gonna be great this time of the year. Beast Coast does a phenomenal job on all their jigs. The powder coating finishes on there. They do the stamped weighting on the side, so you always know what size you have. They've got really nice skirts. They're all hand tied, nice keepers on them, super small 2/0 hook. So you can put a little trailer on there. These things are deadly in the wintertime and in cold water conditions. So if you were a fan of their previous sniper jig, this one's gonna be just as effective. Not as sensitive as the tungsten, but it is gonna save you a few bucks. So great profile, small, compact jig. From Poor Boys, we got a few smaller offerings as well. So Poor Boys been making great tubes for I don't know how long. So they now have a new 3-inch model of their tube in their lineup. So Again, you know, that colder water scenario, if you want to kind of downsize, and especially, you know, in tough conditions, when you need that smaller profile to trigger bites, they have a new 3-inch model of their tube. And they've also got these new jig heads. If I can get some of this salt off my fingers from those things. They got these new fat head tubes with a short shank hook. So it fits perfectly in those smaller tubes. So if you got some more of those tubes out there and you need a head to kind of match those up, there's not a lot of tube heads on the market with those short shank hooks on it. And that fat head that really helps those tubes mimic gobies. So super cool jig head. You can add to those tubes and get a smaller profile. Really looks like a small little goby. They've also added a stalker jig head to their lineup. So a lot of jigs like this coming out on the market right now with lead kind of poured in that same fashion. So geared towards the forward facing sonar guys. Gets that hook there, you know, put them on those minnow style bodies. And now you don't have to deal with, you know, threading a jig hook in there and putting a nail weight. Sometimes that could totally be a pain, and those you lose the nail weights and it takes longer to rig. Now giving you that all-in-one package. So if you're looking for a forward-facing sonar jig, Poor Boys has one on the market now as well. And if you're looking for maybe a bait to pair it up with, we got a new one from Raid, the new fish roller bait. So this little, we got them in multiple sizes, but a deadly little minnow style profile. So 3D eyes, gills, tons of texturing here for the scales and the side fins. And like I said, we got them in multiple sizes and multiple colors. And the way they've poured these and the way they designed the kind of the flare on the gills and the shape of the head on the bottom here, these things are made to keep in that perfectly horizontal presentation and not fish head down or head up. They're supposed to swim in that perfectly straight line, which is super hard to get some of the soft plastics out there to do. When you're fishing suspended fish, if you're vertical dropping on them, and to keep them in that perfectly flat profile, Raid has got a bait that's doing all the work for you. So, you know, it's only getting more and more popular. Guys figuring out, you know, doing different stuff with forward facing sonar. And now there's more baits on the market for you to do that with. So I think we have them all the way from a 2 to a 4-inch, whatever size you want. Not limited to forward-facing sonar, just with the jig heads. You can drop shot these things. You can get a bigger one and fish it on an EWG hook and fish it like a soft jerk bait, whatever you'd like. Fish it on an underspin when it's super, super cold and you need that fork tail that just has that little bit of action and you don't want a big paddle tail. Tons of stuff you can do with them. That's gonna wrap up today's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. For more information or to purchase any of these products seen here today, click shop or link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments which one of these products you're most excited about.